Welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a reading for our 12/12 portal that's coming up tomorrow. This is a general collective reading, so as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Let's get to it here. So God, what do the folks in this collective need to know for the energy of this 12/12 portal? Nice. It's like the awesomest energy. I love that judgment card. That is such a card of transformation. I feel always just that energy of kind of leaving everything behind that is heavy, that's no longer aligned with your highest good, and just making space for like everything good. Here's the Knight of Swords coming in. So for me, he's like a fast moving energy of incoming communication. I'm actually really drawn this time to his motorcycle. So, sorry, I'd be distracted by that. He already is moving very fast, right? We can see that he's like running. He's got this like dashing kind of motion coming from his foot. But he's running towards his motorcycle. So he's about to get even faster. So I'm feeling an energy here that there's like a huge transformation coming in for you where you're going to be releasing some big thing. I'm feeling that heaviness. Sometimes I feel her body as I've described it as like a meat suit. I sort of feel the energy of her body just like collapsing on the floor as her spirit is kind of rising to like the next level of ascension, of enlightenment, of just kind of like the next higher level of her journey, right? So I feel like that weight, like I almost can hear the sound of the body like falling to the floor, right? And feel like that weight going as you're being kind of lifted up. And that in combination with this Knight of Swords running towards the motorcycle, like once he hops on it, he's going to be going so much faster even than running. Like a huge change, transformation energy almost feels like you just zooming forward or like catapulting forward, having released like some really heavy stuff that's out of alignment with you. So this next card, the Six of Wands, I love that sort of uplifted vibe is reminding me of the body posture here of her rising spirit. Here, I can see if I can show you guys a little closer. Just sort of that victory, that triumph, that completely opening her heart chakra to God, the universe, source energy, like to love, to all good things. It's like a very receiving, a very receiving posture because it's very open, right? She doesn't have any defenses up. She's like wide open to receiving. I'm just drawn to like that light kind of pouring into her. So for me, that's reminding me a lot of the healing that I do on my spiritual journey and just being open to receiving all of the good. Even the vibe of the Six of Wands card, right? You can see her, she's kind of on stage. There's like all these little hands reaching up above the stage, like that's her crowd kind of cheering for her. So she's receiving the victory, the acclaim, the attention, the award, like whatever the wonderful good thing is. She's just throwing her heart chakra open to receiving all of that light and love from God. This feels like a really powerful reading. I'm feeling so far there's definitely an importance to this energy of surrender, to being open to change, to being open to this speeding up. I really feel that. You're going to drop some big, heavy stuff and your journey is just going to speed up. And being really open to receiving that. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys will relate to this. Sometimes for me, a change this big can be a little bit intimidating or even like a little bit scary. And I've talked about this before. Like sometimes we tend to gravitate towards what is familiar, even if the change or the new thing is better, right? Is bigger, is higher, is better aligned for us. Sometimes we can kind of get stuck. My spiritual teachers talk about how ego finds refuge in safety and ego finds refuge in sameness. So sometimes when there's big changes coming in like this, a huge transformation, it can kind of trigger ego, right? Because ego knows that it's going to lose some power here. It's going to lose some ground. So ego can kind of dig in and have us feel a little intimidated or afraid of this change. But this feels so safe to me and so completely aligned with like your ascension, your highest good, just completely throwing yourself open to receiving God. It's like really beautiful. Yeah, that Three of Cups is so sweet. I feel like this is like you and God and angels and spirit guides and just everything good, like you being sort of embraced by that sweet, sweet energy of being surrounded by love, right? Being supported. I just feel that as such a sweet, wonderful embrace. What a beautiful energy. Geez. I feel honored to channel this message. This is a lot. Yeah, I feel like, this is exactly what I was just talking about. So we're talking about change, right? And we're talking about releasing the burdens, releasing the heaviness, and being open, right? Throwing yourself wide open to receiving this sweetness, this support, like God literally pouring into your heart, your soul, your life. These cards, I feel like, are just you releasing that resistance. This feels to me like the heaviness of that body in the Judgment card. This is what it feels like you're dropping that feels so heavy that kind of allows you to like catapult or like zoom forward. So the Four of Pentacles is feeling like that sort of clinging out of fear. Like I was talking about with that ego energy, that ego can be resistant and kind of throw up some challenges against having a forward movement this powerful, right? Because it kind of means that ego loses power, that ego is dying off in that space in your life. So I feel like ego is going to cause some fear here around like, oh, hang on to what you've got because it'll never get better. That's definitely the vibe that I'm getting here. Even with her turning away, there's almost a bit of like choosing ignorance, which is interesting. I don't feel if you're in this collective that you're going to make that choice, but I do feel like that's the choice that you're releasing. So being able to really kind of look that ego in the face, I'm like in my mind's eye, I'm seeing her turn her head towards us, and open her eyes, right, and look right at us. So it's kind of like really seeing clearly, being willing to look at those places in your life where maybe you're afraid that you have to like cling or hold on to something, that it will never get better. And this Five of Pentacles feels like releasing this helplessness. So this woman sitting here, in this, I mean, it just feels like such a helpless vibe, right? She's kind of like, woe is me. I'm stuck here. I can't do anything about it. The key is right here. The key to the door is right there. And the lock is right there. All she has to do is walk over and put the key in the lock. I just channeled Alice in Wonderland, so that was interesting. I don't know if that will specifically mean anything to anybody, but that sort of feeling, in at least in the Disney movie, I never read the book, but where Alice is sort of being like tossed around helplessly by her circumstances at times. And even just how much she cried. And I know she was just like a little girl in the movie, right? But just crying and feeling helpless. I just keep seeing that energy. I feel like this is you, when you drop these things, when you're able to see the places where you're kind of clinging out of fear, or where you're avoiding moving forward because you feel helpless. That's the heaviness that you're dropping that allows you to propel forward into this openness. It's so beautiful. So if you're working with this, like if you're deliberately working with the energy of this 1212 portal, I very much feel that this is what it's asking you to look at and examine in your life and receive healing there. So I feel like I want to say it again because it's so important. It's the looking at the places where you're clinging out of fear because you're afraid that things will never get better, and looking at the places where you're feeling like you're helpless, because you always have the power to claim your power, right? You always have the power to make a new choice, to walk over to the key. A lot of times in my spiritual work, when I feel lost, I'll just tell myself, hey, I feel helpless here, right? And I can just pause and give myself some love, and I can claim moving forward with God and just say, like, God, I choose for you to give me clarity on like how to move forward here. You know, show me where my power is. What can I do to be empowered? That's such an awesome message. So I put these kind of separate because I feel that this is what's leaving you. I'm really feeling this energy as like rising and moving forward. There's like this big kind of upward diagonal movement. There's a few. Let's see. We've got the Wheel and the Seven of Wands. I'm drawn again to the fact that this figure is looking away from the camera, kind of looking away from us. The Wheel, I feel like, is everything coming in and just being flipped around. That kind of 180 degrees flip. I'm drawn to the fact that it's kind of this green and dark, similar to the Judgment card. When we have major arcana cards like this in the reading, these are bigger energies that are coming to us from the universe that are sort of a little bit less within our like personal sphere of control. It feels to me like the most incredible, beautiful opportunity being offered to you, that if you're willing to go to these places where you're feeling like you're fearful, where you're feeling like you're hopeless, or you're kind of struggling with some like control energy, once you release that, it's like that freedom again. She even has her heart chakra open as her arms are kind of like put back, right? Being open to releasing that and how free it is and how it completely changes your circumstances around. I feel the energy of this Knight of Swords as like he's like leaving the heavy things that he's lost and he's just jetting away from them like as fast as possible. Like that guy is choosing change, right? And this feels to me like that same energy of like almost seeing in my mind's eye her face kind of turning towards, I'm doing my Muppet hands, turning towards us, right? And opening her eyes and really seeing clearly. Kind of releasing any feelings of defensiveness. That's one of the main meanings of this card, the Seven of Wands. And I just am drawn to this light kind of radiating out from her solar plexus chakra. That's so beautiful. It's reminding me a lot of the light in the Six of Wands card. Just releasing defensiveness and maybe even taking a deep look during the energy of this portal around your beliefs about the universe. So whether you believe in, God, spirits, angels, if you call it just source energy, like whatever resonates for you, it doesn't have to be religious, right? But this does feel very spiritual. Looking at your beliefs about that. Do you believe, in a vengeful God? Do you believe in like a universe that doesn't really care about you? Or do you believe in a universe that sort of balances more towards love and peace? And none of them are right or wrong. There's like no judgment here, right? You believe what you believe and that's okay. But kind of looking at any places where you might be projecting onto this source energy or to God, kind of like attacking you or letting you down, where you're maybe feeling like you have to sort of defend yourself against God or the universe, because this energy is really inviting you to just like wholeheartedly, like literally wholeheartedly with your whole heart to just open to the love and the beauty and the light of the universe. So it feels like anywhere that you are feeling defensive against that or kind of holding it out, feels like a really important place to just give yourself a lot of love and choose to release that defensiveness. The Five of Wands and the Page of Wands. Yeah, it's just that freedom again. I've had another reading like this. I don't remember which one it is, but I remember being drawn a lot to their posture and kind of opening that heart chakra. But look at this. I mean, again, she's just got her arms kind of thrown back and her heart chakra is open. And just the joy. I love the joy of this gesture. It's like so free and playful. Such a beautiful energy coming off of that card. The Five of Wands feels like what I was talking about with that ego chatter. So I feel these two cards together feel like anywhere that ego is going to start acting up, which is probably going to happen if you're in this collective because you're doing some major healing, right? So it's almost like ego tries to throw like, I can't think of an analogy. I just keep seeing like a sports ring, like a boxing arena or something. It's like the ego tries to like throw down one more move or like one more trick or something kind of in the arena, right? To see if it can kind of get you out of fear, out of feeling unworthy, feeling helpless, like whatever it is that sort of like your weak spot or your soft spot, that's kind of where it creeps in, right? So I'm feeling this clanging, clashing energy of that Five of Wands is you kind of having like that internal battle. I really am feeling it as like a boxing type thing. You kind of having that internal battle with ego and recognizing that ego, it's not even real. It's insanity, basically. It kind of draws us away from the truth of like who we really are as divine beings. So realizing that you don't have to fight with ego, you don't have to like step into that boxing match or whatever with ego, that you can put up healthy boundaries. So that's another meaning of this Seven of Wands card. And I'm feeling that kind of bouncing off this Five of Wands. So putting up healthy boundaries and realizing that the way to win the fight is to just not even fight. I'm feeling that this Page of Wands, it's almost like she's throwing away like the burden of that. She's kind of throwing, like, that's an ego thought, toss. That's ego trying to make me feel unworthy, throw, and kind of like literally throwing it like a projectile, just kind of tossing those thoughts aside and really getting them out of your like physical space. She's resonating for me too with that Knight of Swords, that he's literally like zooming off and like escaping, physically putting distance right between him and those types of thoughts, of that heaviness. It really just feels like jetting forward and like the throwing things away from you that just no longer resonate. That's such a cool energy. Oh my goodness, I love this reading. Whoever's in this collective, this portal is like very powerful for you and extremely transformative. Oh my goodness. Okay, can this be any more beautiful? This is like the most beautiful ending to this reading. Look at this. Oh, wow. I just need a minute. That energy is so incredible. We have some really lovely major arcana cards here. We have Judgment, the Wheel, the Star, and the Sun. Those are some of the most auspicious cards in the whole deck. The Star for me is feeling like this healing that you're doing. So the Star can often be a card of healing and a card of like a wish that's been a long time coming. So if you're in this collective, you probably have been working through a lot of this for a long time. I feel that you're very much on your ascension path and you're like about to have a big breakthrough here. The Eight of Wands is that same energy of movement, right? So that the Knight of Swords, kind of jetting off on his motorcycle, that things are about to speed up, right? I feel that in this card. And the same with the movement of the wands and just sort of tossing out of your consciousness anything that no longer resonates with you. I'm really drawn to the fact that the wands are all like converging on one central point. It feels like the energy of you converging into yourself. That's like a weird energy to try to describe, but I feel like these fears and this control, this anxiety, this helplessness, this maybe depression, that you are releasing. In releasing that and in moving forward, you're moving deeper and deeper and deeper into like your true self, right? So what you're releasing is ego and fears and like maybe old beliefs or behavior patterns that no longer serve you. And as you're getting that out of your consciousness, it's like it gives you this clear channel for you to kind of move quickly, like way deeply into your highest self, your true self. I'm feeling actually this is like the portal. This is resembling like that portal energy to me, where you kind of move through it and it'll never be the same again. And you never would want it to be, right? Because what you're releasing and healing here isn't actually you. It's kind of just old beliefs and patterns that are no longer serving you, that you kind of just picked up somewhere along your journey, right? To end this with this energy is so beautiful. I feel very like, I almost feel like on the verge of tears with this one because it's so beautiful. Like if you're in this collective, let this in, like this energy is so lovely. And the light, like the light in the Six of Wands and the light in the Star and the light in the Sun is just letting in. I even feel that in the Page of Wands, and her playfulness feels light, you know? letting that light in and that love and that joy and that peace, and that it's safe to trust this. It's really so safe to trust this transformation. The sun, again, with her arms thrown up, right? Kind of thrown back. It's that same feeling, that same gesture of her heart chakra being open. So we have that in this card. We have it here. We have it here, and we have it here in the sun. Just really letting in the victory, the joy, the freedom, the light, the warmth, like really receiving that love. Oh, that feels like so nice. Whoever is in this collective, I just really feel you being very successful at healing what this reading is pointing to, and really being able to move forward and go deeper on your journey. So I'm looking for... I actually feel like I want to pull more with this and not with an oracle deck. That's kind of funny. I don't usually get that feeling. So I'm going to say this one more time because I feel like this is so important, and I'm probably going to put this in the title of the video. If you are in this collective, please, please, please consider examining anywhere that you are feeling afraid of letting go of something, that you're kind of clinging on to something out of fear because you're afraid that it will never get better. That's the energy of this Four of Pentacles that this reading is inviting you to heal. And then the Five of Pentacles here, please consider looking at anywhere that you're feeling hopeless or helpless in your life. And just know that there is a key there. And maybe you don't know where that key is. Maybe you don't see it right now, but it's safe to ask for help. Like the God source, the universe itself is coming in and bringing this like magical transformation to you. I don't know how to even describe to you how massive this energy is and how beautiful it is. Like, it's magnificent. And you're so supported here. I really feel that with the Three of Cups. There is such a beautiful energy of sweet, supportive, safe partnership here in this card. And that's what God is giving you. That's what Spirit, Source, the universe is giving you, is that sweet partnership of like safety and presence and wanting to do things with you, right? So if you can't find the key, ask God. God, where's the key? I choose for you to show me the key to this, right? And even just the act of asking for that is empowering. That's claiming your power, right? You're not expected to know the answer to everything. Like, how do I say this? You're like an incarnation, my belief at least, from my perspective, you're an incarnation of like a piece of God, right? Like God flows through all of us, but none of us are God. God is bigger than like I think any of us could ever even conceive, with our tiny little puny human brains, right? And that's okay. Our brains were not designed to conceive of God as that energy truly is, right? But it's also safe to just ask for that help, right? Like, you're not God. You're not expected to know everything. You're a piece of God. You're God's child. And it's okay to say, just like a child would ask a parent for help, right? Like, my son asks me all the time if he can't reach something or, needs something from me, he'll just ask me for it. And I feel like that's what this energy is. It's just saying like, hey, God, I need help, finding this key. Please make it clear to me. Where is it? What do I do with it? Right? Have a conversation with God like you would have a conversation with your parent. That's funny. I knew we were missing the World card. That's a bunch that just came out. This is like the most beautiful. All right. I'll sum this up real quick. I don't know why I was compelled to pull like another section. That's kind of funny. When I was talking about the most auspicious cards in the deck, in my head, I was like, yeah, we're missing the World. And then the World is right here. So there we go. Again, with the gesture of the heart chakra open, right? And even the Hierophant, I'm feeling that. And the light here, this feels like you walking up the steps, you kind of rising up like the energy with the Judgment card into that your highest self, right? That aligning with that source energy. The Three of Pentacles again feels like that energy of partnership. And the World, it just feels to me like you getting everything that you want, like opening yourself up to the world and the world of possibilities that are available for you when you're truly partnering with source energy, with God. this Strength card, it just feels like you sort of taming your inner beast. That's what the aspect of that card that I'm channeling. It feels like the same energy, the message that I gave you with the Five of Wands, of like the way that you win the boxing match is like by not even engaging in it, right? There's no point in having a boxing match with ego, because it will always find some sneaky little way, right, to sort of get you somewhere that you're feeling weak or vulnerable or not good enough, right? The way the Strength card is reminding us that the way to sort of, quote, win against ego is to not even engage in that battle, to go within yourself and sort of master just recognizing like, oh, that's ego. Oh, that's ego. Like we were saying with the Page of Wands. Oh, that's an ego thought. That's an ego thought. That's an ego thought. That's an ego thought. And just being able to be kind of strong within yourself about who you are and really choosing to be like in your peace. The Ten of Pentacles is just bouncing off the world again to me. It's one of the most auspicious cards in the whole tarot, and I feel like this feels like the portal to me. Again, we have like a lot of, I think that's just some of the symbolism of the deck, but there's like a circle here, there's a circle here, there's the circles in the wheel, there's this light was reminding me of a portal, this is reminding me of a portal, this is like, there's a lot of portal energy, mostly on this side actually, but being able to move through the energy, to partner with the universe in your healing, to make the most of the energy of this portal and moving forward into your happily ever after is basically what this is saying to me. And the Page of Swords, she feels like so dreamy to me in like the best way. I'm feeling this card, I'm feeling both of these as just only the most positive aspects of those cards, that then you're light, you have this lightness. Do you see how she's almost sort of being, her weight is like she's treading lightly on the earth. So these little ideas, the light bulbs, are kind of pulling her up almost like a bouquet of balloons, right? And she's sort of tiptoeing across this tiny little sword bridge over the waterfall, being able to walk lighter because you have released all of these burdens. And I just feel the excitement of ideas and the inspiration of like, she's reading this book and these light bulbs are going to start lighting up, right? That sort of imagery of like, if you have an idea and the light bulb turns on over your head and it's like bing, like I'm just seeing that bing, 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 bing. And this is you being in the flow, being able to flow more with the universe. And I'm drawn to the wind blowing around her legs here, just the flow of the universe, like washing around you, right? Like the ocean or like the wind. And how good that feels, like letting that energy kind of flow through you and around you, and having all of these inspirations sort of binging in your head. It's beautiful. I'm feeling the birds actually coming towards her as like messengers or inspiration. And even the letters of the book kind of look like they're coming off of the page and going towards her. I feel you opening on a massive level, opening to God, opening to yourself, like your higher self, and opening to like partnering with God in terms of letting that inspiration and that energy just flow to you and flow through you. This is an awesome reading. What an awesome energy. Yeah. If you're in this collective and this is resonating for you at all, please pay attention to everything that I said about this Four of Pentacles and this Five of Pentacles, because this is 100% the sort of meat suit energy, the heaviness, the weight, that body that's no longer serving you, right? And please know, I don't mean your physical body, right? But it's just the imagery of the card. That's how I picture it. It's like a weight dropping to the floor, and you're just releasing and dropping everything that's been kind of holding you back. And it's just this massive forward movement. This is awesome. I hope that this was helpful, and I wish you like really joyful, deep healing with this 1212 portal energy. This is a phenomenal energy. If you feel like sharing, I would love to hear about your experiences, and look forward to that. And I hope to see you guys in my next reading. Bye.